Hey, what's up YouTube viewers and betanews.com readers? Brian Fagioli is here, and I'm taking a look at a new laptop. It's a laptop I've actually been testing for a few weeks now. It's one that I'm really liking. It's by Toshiba. It is the Portégé R30-A200S as in Sam, M as in Mary, B as in boy. SMB meaning small business. This is not your traditional consumer grade laptop. This is a business grade laptop. So I just wanted to give a quick overview of it. So first things first, it's made of magnesium, so it feels really wonderful, and I think it looks wonderful too. Plastic is a very good material for building laptops, but it can creak. It can look a little cheap. But plastic is pretty durable. Magnesium, though, is durable as well, while also looking beautiful. Just want to give a quick tour around the side. So, as you can see here, there's an SD card slot, which is really useful for doing things like importing photos. If you are a business user, of course, all these ports you can lock down as administrator. So an SD card slot, if you don't want your employees actually putting in SD cards and reading them or transferring files in and out for security reasons, of course, you can restrict all these. There is a DVD burner, which is very handy for installing. Some software still comes boxed, believe it or not. Boxed only from some manufacturers, some companies. So you can install using an optical drive, but you can also back up as well. So if you're a small business, let's say maybe you're only 1 or 2 employees and you need to back up data locally, you want to store it on premises, DVD is a really great media for that. I think DVD and optical media is a inexpensive and great way to back up and store locally. So you do get that with this laptop. Here we have a media jack, so you have headphone/microphone, so you can use a headset. Good for conferencing and things for remote employees. We have a USB 3.0 port here on the side, as well as an Ethernet port for hard wiring into your business's internet, or even if they're at home, they're remoting in. Wireless is convenient, but hardwire is always preferred for security, for one, but also for performance. You're going to get better performance typically out of hardwired connections. The back, there's nothing on the back, but I will say there's really strong hinges. These hinges are phenomenal. It's a really solidly built laptop. On this side, we can see the fan for the exhaust for the CPU. This particular laptop has a Core i5, so the cooling is there. We have a power port right here when you want to charge it. There's a VGA port, which is important. Consumers don't use VGA as much anymore, but in businesses, my experience, a lot of businesses still have older projectors that rely on VGA, or even older monitors that still use VGA. If you have an older monitor, it's convenient to just plug in here and not have to buy a brand new monitor. So it's a cost-effective thing to have. But of course, there's also HDMI. So if you have more modern hardware, you can do it that way too. There's 2 USB 3.0 ports on this side as well, which is really nice. So there's 3 USB 3.0 ports total, none of which are USB 2.0. They're all 3.0. So that's actually very cool. On the bottom, this is actually a really great laptop. On the bottom, there's a port replicator port here if you want to hook it up to like a docking station. More importantly, though, if you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And I took some photos of this, but by unscrewing those 4 screws, you get really easy access to the hard drive as well as the RAM. So if you do want to upgrade the memory, this particular laptop is 4 gigs, but it's only using 1 slot. So you could buy a matching 4 gig stick and upgrade to 8 very easily. I hate when it's 4 gigs, but there's two sticks in there, which, for dual channel performance is good, but if you want to upgrade, now you have to throw out those 2 gig sticks or donate them or use them in another project, and buy, 2 4 gig sticks if you want to go to 8. So this is nice. You can just upgrade with 1 stick. There's a 500 gig 5400 RPM hard drive. You can easily access, change the hard drive, change it to an SSD. It's very, very easy to upgrade in this laptop. It's one of the things I love about it. Of course, if you are a business worker, this is something that you should like. If I can get this off here. One thing I have to say is I did have a little difficulty getting the battery off of here, but I will say this, the battery, oh, you have to hold this in, my apologies, you have to hold in the unlock key and pull. I think I'm doing it right. Let's see. Pull that. If I can get this out now. Oh, I should just show here. So, as you can see here, step 1, lock and unlock. I have it in the lock position. So, silly me. We're going to move that to unlocked first. Then by sliding this, we can just pull the battery out. So my mistake, it's not that difficult to get the battery out. I just had it in the locked position. But then you can carry a few of these in your bag. So let's say you're traveling across the country, or you're going to be at a conference all day. You don't have to worry about, you know, plugging in. You know, the worst thing is when there's limited outlets and everyone's fighting over a seat near an outlet. If you have a few of these in your bag, you know, you can just swap them out and keep traveling. So if you're, and keep working rather. So if you're a traveler or a, you know, road warrior, some refer to themselves as, this is a really great option to have a. If I can get this back in now. To have a removable battery. So very cool. Do want to look at the inside as well. The keyboard is wonderful. It's like a chiclet style, but the keys feel really wonderful. And typing on this keyboard is just a really great experience. There's some manufacturers that are moving keys around, which gets a little frustrating. I like the delete keys up here, the backspace key, enter key, the arrows. Everything is nicely laid out. There's no surprises where I'm going to have to remember some silly trick that, like, you know, the shift key is moved over here because who knows why. It's a traditional layout. The touchpad is really wonderful. It's like a big button, basically. So there's no buttons down here. So you just click on the actual trackpad, so left and right clicks. But what's cool too is if you like it, there's a pointing stick here as well, which IBM kind of made famous on their ThinkPads. But here is a little nub here that you can use as a pointing device with 2 buttons here for left and right click. So if you prefer, you can do that. I'm not a big fan of that, and actually when typing I found that sometimes that little nub, my finger hits it and it kind of annoys me. You can actually just pull it right off. So there you go. If you don't want the nub to get in your way when you're typing, you can pull it off, but it's very easy just to kind of put it right back on if you want. There we go. What else can we show here? Trackpad is wonderful. The speakers are actually really great. There's 2 front-facing speakers right here, like right at the top. Some manufacturers, they kind of cheap out a little bit and they put speakers in the bottom, which are just the worst place for speakers. So the speakers are in a really great place. The webcam is actually very good. It's just a really great all-around laptop. That I really recommend. I think it's phenomenal. I'm actually doing a review for it, review of it rather, for betanews.com. And there's different models. You can get like a Core i7 if you want to. You can get SSDs, this and that. I particularly wanted to look at this model because it's kind of, if you've ever worked in the business world, in the enterprise, small business, large business, the employees usually don't get the best laptops, meaning the best spec, I should say. So like, this is a great laptop, but usually you're not going to give your employees something with an i7 and 16 gigs of RAM and an SSD unless they really need it. For the most part, you want to get a really solidly built laptop that's easy to work with, that doesn't necessarily have the top of the line components, but is more of like a mid-range. And this is a really great mid-range laptop. So I really like it. And once again, I just want to get the model number right. This is the Toshiba Portégé R30-A200SMB with SMB designating small business. Just a really well-built laptop. Like I said, it's all magnesium. The hinges are really well built. You can see it's very thick. It's actually very light. It's like 3.3 pounds, and it's a thicker laptop. Toshiba actually refers to this as a thin laptop, and I wouldn't call it thin. It's actually a little bit thick, but given the thickness, it's extremely it's extremely light. So I think it's a really great small business laptop. Or even if you have a large business and you're looking for just for your enterprise. So once again, Brian Fagioli taking a look at this laptop. Look for a review at betanews.com. Thank you so much for watching.